Yo, what's happening, everybody? Hey, it is the NASCAR Daytona 500 weekend, and I've just stumbled across this video. It says everything you need to know about the 2026 Daytona 500. And as someone that is new to this sport, I feel like we're gonna give this video a watch and see what we can learn. Shout out to the Iceberg for making this video. So let's jump straight in.
The 2026 Daytona 500 is right around the corner, and there are a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this race. So let's waste no time and get on into it. I'd say one of the most important parts is who is going to be attempting this race. Firstly, we have the 36 guaranteed charter spots, so 36 right off the bat will be in, and there hasn't been much change here.
36 chartered spots. I'm going to guess that's all the cars that's going to be involved. That's my guess. That's my guess right there. All the people that are going to, the cars that are going to be involved, right?
Daniel Suarez is with the 7 Inspire now. And then you have Connor Zilisch moving up to the 88 car with Trackhouse. And his teammate Shane Van Gisbergen going to switch numbers from 88 to 97.
Wait, so when people move to a different team, they don't keep their number. The car is the number. The car owns the number. That's sort of what I'm getting from what he just said just now. So please, somebody let me know. Because in F1, as you may know or may not know, the drivers have the numbers and they carry that number around. So if they change teams, for example, they can take that number with them. The only exception is, well, not really an exception. The addition to that is if you've won the championship that year, and you're the current champion, you can have your number being the number 1, and you can use that.
Outside of that, whoever was a chartered entry in the 2025 Daytona 500 is set for the 2026 Daytona 500 in the same spot. There also is a 37th entry that is insured to be in, and that is Jimmy Johnson in the number 84, who is locked in with the open exemption provisional, meaning that since he has taken it this year with a change of rules, he'll be locked in. No prize money, no points, just doing it for the love of the game. And then 2 spots will be locked in during Daytona 500 qualifying night on Wednesday, the fastest 2 open spots, leaving 2 spots open for the duels, 1 per duel. And the open entries for 38th through 41st go like this. Chandler Smith, who will be making an attempt with a number 36 with Front Row. Front Row has put out some pretty good cars, and they got a hefty bit of change now from the lawsuit, so this might be a car that a lot of people aren't looking at necessarily who could be a contender. Justin Allgaier will make another attempt with JR Motorsports in the number 40 car with Chris Stapleton's Traveler's Whiskey. This was one of the biggest storylines of the 2025 Daytona duels and Daytona 500, and it paid off amazingly. Can they cap?
Oh God, hold on. I know we've gone past it a little bit, but I gotta go back to the guy that's just in for the bands, the number 37 guy, or the 37th vehicle. What if he ends up winning? What happens? Does the win doesn't count towards him because he says it's not gonna get any points or anything? But what if he wins though? Anyway.
Capture lightning in a bottle twice. JJ Yaley in the number 44 for NY Racing is somebody that not many will look at, but he was challenging Jimmy Johnson before, so why couldn't he make it in? Anthony Alfredo with Beard Motorsports in the 62. This is a team that almost specializes on super speedway racing. If not already does, they will be a threat. Casey Mears looks to make another start in the Great American Race with Garage 66. He will probably be the lowest powered car, so he has an uphill battle. Corey Heim does not have a full-time seat in Trucks O'Reilly or Cup this year, but will be racing in the 67 car more for 2311.
Okay.
Can he start with a great start in the Great American Race? BJ McLeod with Live Fast in the 78. This team has shown speed at super speedways before to make it in, so maybe he can do it again. And then Corey LaJoie will be in the number 99 for RFK Racing. This will be, I think, pivotal for this team as, 1, they show a lot of speed, but 2, having the added 4th car could be immeasurable in the dividends of making it up towards the front and drafting with people who can actually.
Can't stop looking at the mustache, man. He's got some serious November thing going on right there. It's sick.
Be on the same page as you. Now, the schedule for Speed Weeks does get cut even more this year.
Okay.
Last year, we had a practice and a little bit of on-track activity on Tuesday. We don't get that this year. It goes like this, though. Wednesday, we have morning cup practice, and then later that night, qualifying for the Daytona 500 on Fox Sports 1.
Oh, I've definitely missed
on
that now.
Thursday, we get ARCA and truck afternoon practice before the duels that night.
I
on
might still be able to
FS1
catch
as
this
well.
because I'm recording this on a
Friday
Thursday.
is probably one of the busier days. ARCA and truck have afternoon qualifying, followed by an O'Reilly Series practice, a second cup practice, and then the truck race on Fox Sports 1. And then Saturday is the last chance for cup guys to get stuff done, as well as O'Reilly drivers. The O'Reilly Series qualifies in the morning. The ARCA race is noon Eastern time on Big Fox. And in the afternoon, we have happy hour for the Daytona 500, followed by the O'Reilly Series opener at Daytona on the CW.
I might be able to catch some of these. It's gonna be my first experience watching it live. But I won't be watching the actual race because it will be too late for me. I think it's gonna be like 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and I've got work the next day, so no chance. But I might watch the races that go on at the start, like you just mentioned.
And Sunday, 2:30 Eastern time, scheduled for the Daytona 500 to run.
Yeah, no chance.
So we know who is going to be vying for what spots. We know who is going to race. We know when they're going to race. But what are the storylines they're racing for? And across all of Speed Week, what is the storylines going into this
what's
race
the storyline? Let
that
me know.
will in any way draw people in? Well, overall, I do think that we're going to see a bit of a sense of urgency for a different reason. With the new chase format, it means in all three series, guys from the beginning will set up either really well or really poorly for their season at large. When you have a super speedway and you have to get as many points as possible, you can't lay in the back too long, especially those who want to compete and be at the top of the board for the championship, because you need that chase seating. If you're any lower than about fifth going into the chase, you can almost kiss your championship goodbye without a Herculean Tony Stewart 2011 run. So that's going to be something worth watching. You're not going to see somebody jump out of the car when they win the Daytona 500 and say, we're in the chase, we're in the playoffs. No, that's gone. And that's going to be a storyline that changes the racing all season long. Also, not really for the cup race, but the truck race, it is a stacked field. Tons of different cup guys are coming down to run that race, as well as some guys going just for wins. But the stacked side of it when it comes to star power is insane. You have Tony Stewart running the Ram truck for the first time. Can Tony go down after 21 years out of the truck series in general and get a win? Cletus McFarland, barring a failed test, which he probably won't fail, is going to be in this truck race.
What? Lisa, and isn't it a YouTuber? I didn't know he's going into a proper racing now. That's interesting.
That's another one that a lot of people are going to be watching. And Travis Pastrana will be in the race
The
as
drifter.
well. I mean, it's just all over the place, some
What?
craziness. And I mentioned
Okay,
Tony
I want to
Stewart
watch
with
this
Ram.
one now.
Ram is going to be running in their first race in years in the Daytona truck race. So Speed Weeks, even lower series, has a ton to watch. In the duels, I mentioned it before, but JR Motorsports, can they make it in again with Justin Allgaier? Last year, having an Earnhardt in the field, even in an ownership spot, was something that a lot of fans felt was right. But lightning doesn't always strike twice. And at that point, if they get crashed out, what will be the reaction from a lot of the Earnhardt faithful? That was a really big deal when it came to the numbers you saw viewership-wise for the duels. They went up a good amount last year.
Some crazy
and
crash.
you have to think it was the Earnhardt factor. Also, with it too, the package in general. Will racing and fuel mileage change at all? It seems like NASCAR is not changing the stage lengths in any way, and it doesn't seem like they're changing the super speedway package, or at least they haven't announced doing so yet. So do we get more of the same? A lot of fans have a lot of excitement going into the 2026 season, but there is dread that we're just going to see 3 and 4x4 racing that is just at half throttle, saving fuel in the opening 2/3 of this race. Can NASCAR change it, or are they even willing to change it? What will the weather be? I mean, we have had rainouts for the Daytona 500 more often than not in the 2020s.
What, really?
Does this happen again? We've been kind of cursed with
caution
it.
all day.
And after a cursed week up in Bowman Gray with weather, I don't think NASCAR fans will stay sane if the Daytona 500 gets rain delayed or rained out till Monday again.
Oh, no.
Also, there has been a lot of fallout from the Clash. Can the Daytona 500 have good enough racing and good enough storylines and a fun enough finish that's not just a wreck fest that'll get people talking positively instead of the bad taste a lot of people have in their mouths about the Clash? This also is going to be a somber Speed Weeks in a lot of ways. We had a really tough offseason as a NASCAR community. Greg Biffle, Dennis Hamlin, the father of Denny Hamlin, and Michael Annett. There will probably be a lot of different tributes to all three of these men.
Oh, wow.
There already is the RFK font with the RFK cars and the 16 car for Colleague. There's a lot of talk around Denny Hamlin and the just awful offseason he has had. And then on top of all of that, you have a lot of guys who will be racing for their rides. Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman are just some of the drivers who don't have contracts for next year as we're recording this. Of all of the silly season dominoes, only Carson Hocevar at the time of recording this has actually fallen, and he's staying at Spire past 2030. So outside of that,
a good contract.
You're not really seeing a lot of drivers going into this season that are ironclad locked into their situations for 2027. Winning the Daytona 500, regardless of how the next 35 races go, can make a major wave in sponsorship as well as your position at the team. The Daytona 500 can change lives, both in the short and the long term. And while the race for a lot of people have been watered down a lot, you can't forget that this is still the biggest race in stock car racing and should be treated as such. So there you have it. Everything I think you need to know heading into the 2026 Daytona 500.
Well, that's pretty cool. I learned some stuff. And I can't say I understood everything I just watched. For example, the chase. What the hell is the chase? I'm sure I've heard of it before, but I still don't really understand most of these random different races that is happening within the race and things like that. I'll try my best anyway to see as much as I can see this weekend. Hopefully we're in for some good action. I've waffled on for too long. Big shout out to the Iceberg, and we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for watching this one, guys. Don't forget to smash the like buttons and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. Goodbye. Peace.